Thank you for listening to and watching the Dreaming Insomniacs, the podcast. Today we have extremely special guest, RoseColoredWorld. You might see their reels on Instagram as they're taking over the rose-colored world, if you will. How you guys doing today?
Good, man. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Pleasure having you too. This is such a huge honor, as I was saying beforehand. And I got a first question for you, which is, how did RoseColoredWorld meet? And how did you guys formulate the band and message?
Yeah, so we met the night Tom Petty passed away. Rest in peace, Tom Petty.
Amen.
At a jam in Hollywood. We started writing together a couple days later. And then I was backing up Ray for a gig. We both always wore these rose-colored glasses when we first met. We got off stage. Everybody was asking us, what is our band called? And we were like, what band? Then we were in the car on the way home, and she's like, do you want to do this? I was like, hell yeah. She's like, what should we be called? And I looked at our glasses. I said, RoseColoredWorld, and that was the beginning of our adventure.
That's a great story. That's amazing. It's like kismet, it was meant to be.
Yeah,
it was super kismet because I had just moved to LA a month and a half before. So it's not like, and I'm from Florida originally, so it's not like I had been out here for years and it was like, it was really quickly. I met Addison and kind of a lot of my musical soul family kind of off the bat. So
that's amazing. I love hearing that. That is great. Where from Florida are you from?
I'm originally from Fort Lauderdale, and then I went to FSU and kind of moved all over and made my way out to LA. So
that's awesome. We're over in Daytona Beach.
Oh, cool.
I'm in Daytona Beach. Steven's in Massachusetts, and we make the records online. And as I was saying, we hire a band to play the shows and stuff. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Today's actually, like I was saying, the 10-year anniversary of the Dreaming Insomniacs. So again, full circle, kismet.
Yeah,
perfect.
Congrats.
Thank you. And I hope to see you guys here in 10 years too, and then on forward. So let's keep this going.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. My next question for you guys is, what are some factors that led you to create music that leads into the emotional territory, yet is helpful for those having mental health struggles?
Well, I can start on this. I feel like a lot of the things that we write are very, very autobiographical. It's things that we're feeling in the moment. I'm never trying to just write something cool. I'm always trying to be as honest and transparent as possible. And Addison and I we kind of go there when we're talking, and we're like, what should this be about? And why should we write it? And Ad also writes incredibly catchy stuff. So it's cool because, people wouldn't hear these words that mean so much unless they were catchy enough to listen to it. So it's really a cool thing that, I feel like can help a lot of people feel less alone. And some of the feelings that we all feel as humans on planet Earth,
That is a great answer.
Thanks, man.
You got anything to add?
I think that question, Ray, you killed it.
Yeah, that was great. We do something similar where it's like just mental health improvement for the betterment of the world through music and being honest about experiences, but still making it subjective enough to be relatable. And I notice you guys do that too.
Yeah.
It's like a perfect collaboration, if you ask me.
Thanks.
Yeah, I feel like Ray and I were destined to sing together and make music. So I'm
Definitely
very thankful that our paths crossed.
And your voices, the way they harmonize, sometimes I can't tell who's singing.
That's funny you said that, because Addison in another podcast earlier said that after what did you say? You said something really...
When I first saw Ray sing live, I was like, oh, that's interesting. We sing a lot alike.
It's like we have our own things, but it's a cool thing. When we sing together, it takes on like a different life almost.
The blending of the two.
Yeah, and it's a really cool thing that really for some of the other music that's coming out, just like trying to do that almost as much as possible where it feels organic still, because it is such a fun experiment with our voices.
I love that. Just keep it going. It's a lot of music making too being an audio engineer, I should know this. It's throwing shit to the wall and seeing what sticks. Like a lot of it's just
it's just trying
experimentation.
things. Yeah.
Try things out.
So,
Like
that feels good.
yeah, and it's gotta like have that oomph to it, and you guys bring the oomph, which leads into my next question. How did Rose Colored World end up working with ZK Productions, who have produced many amazing artists such as Set It Off, Mayday Parade, and one of our favorite podcast guests, the Paradox Band?
Oh yeah. ZK was early believers of this band before anybody really knew who we were. It just wasn't the right timing to work with them then, but we were working on our first album here like usual, and we listened down to everything, and it just came to both of us that we wanted to go into a studio and record live drums, live amps, all the things for our first album. We thought about Zach and Ken. We hit them up and they're like, we're all in. We love what you guys do. And we head back over to Atlanta on June 8th.
Like a week.
A week to continue working on the album with them.
Can't wait. That's actually one of my questions later on. So I have more to ask about.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
But also ZK Productions, you guys followed us, so thank you. Shout out. That was really cool. Not expected. So that was really nice. They seem to believe in us too.
They are the freaking coolest people ever. Down to earth, but their attention to detail, I believe, is one of their secret sauces.
Yes.
Yeah, I think people forget that the actual definition of a producer is not just, adding delay and sitting there and making the song come to life, but it's also producing an environment that allows the song to come to life. And they are at the top of the game when it comes to that, and allowing us to feel really safe and in our pocket to try things, to encourage us, to kind of steer us in different directions. And it's been really cool watching their process, and not just me and Addison in this room recording everything and driving each other mad.
And it's nice for me not to be manning the computer, so I can be much more intentional and in with the writing process.
I love that. That's great. I was gonna say visceral. Anyway, it is literally a visceral experience, and I'm impressed by the production, layering, and the way it sounds. Even on an iPhone speaker, like you can hear like the environment in it, and I think that's really freaking cool.
Damn.
So.
Well, that has to do with who mixed and co-produced that EP with us, Tom Denny from A Day to Remember. He was a founding member. So he collaborated on the whole EP with us. We would produce it here, track everything, send it to him, and he's amazing.
I love it. All right, which it leads into my next question. I love how you started your EP with Beauty and the Breakdown with the song A Cold Day in Hell and ended it with Medicine. Was this a purposeful choice showing the inertia of mental health improvement?
Yes. It was, yeah. And you're actually the first person so far to pick up on that, which is really cool. When I saw that question come through, I was stoked on it. When we started writing the EP in so many areas of our life and coming out of COVID and stuff, we were feeling frustrated, stuck, lonely, a lot of the feelings that no one's safe from the human condition. We all feel these things, but when you're feeling them, you kind of feel like you're the only person in the world that's feeling that way. And
so you talk to someone about it.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh wait, like we all,
I'm not alone.
Yeah,
exactly.
And so I was like, really a lot of the EP covers feeling lonely, feeling grief, feeling stuck, feeling lost. And through that, there's the transmutation of feeling joy and hope. And that is something that we hope people can take away from this EP.
I love that. See, I've always done something like that with our albums. Also, my solo project, 996, which is my birthday, September 9th, 1996. The first album's called Inertia. I hitchhiked to Missouri from Massachusetts to, when I was 19, and I wrote that album. And it showed that anybody can go from a pessimistic mindset to an optimistic mindset to make that change, to improve yourself. So I noticed it, and I was like, holy shit, other people are doing it too. I'm really happy. I'm really excited. So I'm glad that you liked that question, because it was special. All right. So my next question for you is, what are your words to bands and artists looking to get started in the industry? Tips, tricks, advice, etc.
I think the most important thing, that's our dog Mark. Hi Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Puffer.
He's got a dig.
There he goes. Yes, Mark, you're on camera.
The most important thing is, and it's the hardest thing, is to just be yourself and not care what anyone thinks. In the beginning, when nobody's waiting for your music or nobody knows who you are, you need to find the world it lives in, right? What does it sound like? What does it look like? What does it feel like? And that the most genuine ways to do that is to just be yourself and make the music that you resonate with. And don't fricking look at any of the numbers for 2 years. Just post, just put out music, and don't get stuck saying, is this perfect? Because we look back and I love hearing the evolution of our music and the way that it sounds now. And because at the time we would go, okay, this is done. This is the best that it can be right now. And then we moved on, and we were very good about that. And just stay consistent and keep pushing forward.
I love that. I love that so much. That's beautiful. And you guys formed, what, 5 years ago?
Yeah, about 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Wow. I'm glad that you've already been around too. You have a lot of great music videos, so everybody go subscribe to RoseColoredWorld's YouTube channel.
Thanks.
I just really appreciate the quality of the music videos and the music and the production quality. Like I've been jamming out to you guys all week. So
hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we love making visuals. Ray and I produce and direct and edit and color mainly all of the videos, except for a few that we brought some people in to collaborate with. But very intentional. Ray is very good at setting the standard, and we don't deviate away from that.
Yeah, I and it's funny too, because they look professional, which is great, but I could tell that you probably made it yourself, which is even more of a compliment to you guys, because that's hard to do. It's really hard to make something yourself and make it look good.
Yeah, a lot of good people. We've been working with our makeup artist and stylist, Monroe, for pretty much the entire time.
Since Torn in Two.
Yeah, since Torn in Two on. And Monroe's been very influential in like hearing our vision and help reflect it visually, and that's been really amazing. And also just getting really clear of like, what are we trying to say and what are we trying to do? And it's kind of the only place where my perfectionism feels acceptable, because it's what we're putting out into the world kind of forever. And so we want it to, it's like, Dan, our manager, is always like, you guys care so much and that's so rare. And in my head, I'm just like, well, then what the fuck is the point if we don't care and we're not being really intentional? That's just kind of where we stand with it.
And shout out Dan, we love you. He's awesome.
Yeah, Dan.
Dan is the third member of this band, really. He has believed in us before anybody. And he's our family, and he's amazing.
We love you, Dan.
Love you, Dan. All right, so I do have a bit of a random question that's not on the list that I gave you guys.
Yeah.
And it has to do with opening for The Used. Now, that first album of theirs has gotten me through so much. I love all their stuff, but especially that first album.
Me too.
Blue and Yellow, Greener with the Scenery. Like all the songs people don't know. That whole album's great. So what was that like to be able to open up for The Used? That's crazy.
I mean, it was freaking a dream come true. It was just an amazing experience. And, coming off playing 70 shows last year, some really cool venues, but feeling like we got to play such a massive stage to so many people, it was really nice.
We have kind of the idea constantly where we're playing an arena show, even in a backyard. And that's something that we like, no matter energy level, level of performance, all of it.
Yeah,
it's
we go
like
for it.
And truly, because we like to have a good time. And we know we like to have a good time. Energy is contagious, and you guys are going to have a great time, whether you know us, whether you know the words or not, and we can just have a fucking epic adventure together. And so we've always kind of brought that energy, but we've never played in front of 2,400 people before, and it was sold out. And There was a lot leading up to it, but it was one of the best days and nights.
Nothing went
of our
wrong.
life.
Nobody
For
missed
sure.
a note.
No tech issues. Everybody on the crew for the use, from media to management, like everybody's just a fucking homie, and they slay live. It was just an honor. It was a true honor.
And they didn't have to put us on, and we're just grateful to the Used manager, Sean and Marvin. So thank you.
That's awesome. I love that. I have a little story for you about the Used if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
So my childhood friend Tim, his sister Stella was obsessed with the Used when I believe it was in Love and Death came out. She was always jamming out the first one and the second one. Nothing else was out yet. It was 04. But yeah, so her brother Tim and Maddie met Bert at a Boston show, and they asked Bert to call Stella a bitch. And in the video, he says, "Hi Stella, they told me to call you something I won't call you, but I love you."
I love that.
Yeah, that was
That's
great.
sweet.
Bert's a good dude, man. I love that.
That's awesome.
So that's such a cool thing to be able to experience, and I'm glad to hear that. He's a homie, so the rest of the whole crew's homies.
Yeah, they were all great. Before we went on stage, Bert said, "Hey, remember to have fun out there." It was awesome.
That's the way to be. Yeah. When I first made contact with Chris Dugan, Green Day's engineer, he's a good buddy.
Yeah, we met Chris.
I started audio engineering school in 2019, and I told him I was going because of him, and he said, "Thanks, Joe. Good luck in school, and always make sure you're having fun."
Hell yeah.
And so that's the best advice. Always
Chris
have fun.
was the one that got us into their show at the Rocks.
At the Echo.
Yeah. Hey, man, Chris is the best. Shout out Chris Dugan. We love you, man.
Yeah,
man.
How you doing?
He heard one of our new songs early and said, "Sounds great, great work." So I totally put it on the art. I'm like, let's market it. Why not? Like, he did it. So my next question for you is, what inspired you the most to do what you guys do? Biggest influences, artists, bands?
So early on, I grew up. So my first concert was the Beach Boys, and my dad loves Billy Joel and the Beatles. But what really got me wanting to make music was when I first heard Taking Back Sunday, The Used, Simple Plan, Sum 41, Green Day. Those bands. And then looking at the behind the scenes of their lives, I was like, damn, this is what I need to do. And yeah.
I love that. That's great.
I have so many, I feel like, moments. I've never not sang. I've always known that I was going to sing at some point in some space. And I've always made songs since I'm a kid. Even two stories. The first one is I made a song about the color red in Spanish when I was 5. And I remember my dad being like, "What the heck is going on?" Because I wasn't reading yet, and I was kind of making up little tunes. And then another moment when I was a bit older, and I was on AOL.com, and Avril Lavigne was on the splash page with "I'm With You." And I remember seeing that for the first time and being like, oh, like, it wasn't this Britney Spears or like Ariana Grande. It wasn't like you needed to wear a leotard and be this like pop shiny thing. Like you could just write a fucking song and people hear it and it means something. And that was definitely a moment where I was like, I want to write shit like that. And we have a song that's not out yet called Somebody Else that actually gives me the same feeling as I'm With You.
Yeah, Simple Plan was like that for me. And by the way, this week, Pierre from Simple Plan and Seb followed the band.
Yes,
you guys.
And that was freaking sweet.
Love that. That's great. We got Dante from Clerks, Brian O'Halloran. I was like, whoa, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a huge Clerks fan. And like, I wished him happy birthday in December and like liked a post or commented and just randomly Brian O'Halloran started following.
Yeah, the power of the internet.
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful though. I mean, you guys are getting your influences, seeing your stuff. That's the most important part. Because then, they really appreciate it because they do what we do. We love what we do, but not everybody takes the time out of their day to fully appreciate it.
Yeah.
So when they do, it goes a long way. So those are great answers, honestly. Leading into my next question, we already know the album's coming. So for the album in the future, what are your goals musically, lyrically, and production-wise?
For it to not suck. No, I mean, just to continue to be honest and continue doing what we're doing and staying true to us and not doing anything that we think somebody wants to hear or for any other reason other than like, we love it, we like it, it's honest, and allow it, that the songs to continue to, I believe, kind of write themselves. Like, we're just getting out of the way, kind of being a conduit, allowing ourselves to be open to receiving ideas from each other and ideas from the universe and ideas from Zach and Ken, and just being open, being excited.
It's the way to be.
Yeah, just trying to be present and not overthink it, and just go with our guts of what feels good.
Yeah, and it'll feel right as it goes, like, don't force it. You can't force great music, right? That's my advice on that, honestly. I mean, you guys are already great. I'm not worried about anything. Like, the album is going to be so good, so I can't wait.
So excited for you guys to hear these songs, and we really are learning patience in this process of just allowing that excitement to move through all parts of our life before it's out into the world. Because once it's there, it's ours, but it's mostly everybody else's, Right now, it's still ours, which feels really fun.
Yeah, but I'm super excited for everyone to hear these new songs because we've been sitting on some of these for a while. Hanging On came out a year ago, and we had the EP done for
a year and a half.
Yeah, a while. So we're excited.
I love it. We have a comment from Jones Death Note. Shout out Jones Death Note. Win. Yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, so my next question for you is, what are your upcoming shows and when is the tour?
Well, we're going to be announcing 2 different tours here probably within the next week or 2. And yeah, that's all we could say right now. But the summer one is August, shorter, and then October and November will be 6 weeks and pretty much hitting everywhere.
Awesome. Hope to see you in Florida because I'll come. I'll bring all my friends.
Like we are coming to Florida.
That would be sick. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to be playing there at the end of the year.
Good. I'm excited. You guys are great.
Thank you.
Seriously, like I said, I was listening to the EP before we did this, and it's a shock to be able to interview you guys.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Thank you, man.
We kind of blew through these questions, so I have 2 left.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. Happy to be here.
So my next question for you is, what is your absolute favorite moment or moments of being in a band so far? Crazy stage, studio, and show stories?
I think there's so many, but when I think back, my favorite moments are the moments before we go on stage and just the memories that we've made with each other, with fans, a lot of laughter. It's a joy and a privilege that we get to do what we do for a living. And we're like pirates of the road when we're out there all together. And it's really like another family. So I'm just grateful for all of the stages we've got to play in the last year, because all we wanted to do before this was get on tour, and having a full schedule booked now, and social media showing our music to so many people recently has been such a blessing.
I have a distinct memory. Last summer, we went out with The Dangerous Summer, and those guys fucking rip, man. They're so talented and they're so fun. And we had an off day at the French Quarter in New Orleans, and we were all at this RV park, and it was so rad because they had a pool and a hot tub, and we all just like vibed out. And it was kind of towards the beginning of the tour. And a lot of those guys have played like 6-7 Warped Tours. Like, they've been around. And this was like kind of our first big real run. And just being able to kick it with them under like the beautiful night stars out there and ask them questions and bond and laugh. Like, I loved that night so much. And I remember it like poured down rain on us. And we have a lot of like crazy stories too in Canada. And we almost didn't make our first international show in Canada because our RV broke down, and a random guy named Sean, shout out Sean. literally drove us in his minivan, or we drove
2.5 hours.
We drove ourselves in his minivan with him in
and
the
we
car.
got there 20 minutes before we went on.
No sound check, and like it was one of our favorite shows, and everybody threw down, and I fucking love Canada. But we almost didn't make it, and it just like a nice homie. And right before we got off, he started talking to Addison on stage and was like, "The bus is fixed." And it was like this movie moment where like the show must go on.
I was
we
like,
made
what?
it.
He's
Everything,
like, they're on the way. And
everything
I'm like,
worked out.
hell yeah.
That's life sometimes. It just sometimes feels like a movie. Usually when things are working out, like, you know. So that's really cool. That's such a great answer. Like the whole Canada story. Like I was seeing that as you were describing it.
We actually have it all. If you scroll, we made a couple reels of it because we were like, this is unbelievable that a random person that doesn't know us at this RV park wants to drive us.
So nice.
He's so sweet. So we'll probably see him when we come back.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out to, what was his name again? Sean.
Sean.
Shout out Sean.
Corner.
And that leads into my next question, which is the final. Again, we kind of blew through this whole thing, but
We lost you.
Yeah, we lost you.
We lost you.
Like audio wise.
I think your mic got unplugged somehow.
We can see you not being happy.
Wait. No.
oh man.
Wait, we got you.
got
We're good? Okay, we're good. Sorry about that. Yes, I hear my mic. My drawing pad fell and hit the mic, and I'm
All good, man.
But to lead into my next question and the final question for you guys, which is, do you have any plugs, shout outs, etc.?
Plugs, shout outs. Shout out to every single person that has been finding our music. The last month has been crazy, and we're just grateful for all of you, you included, Joe, for finding us on Instagram. Did you find us on Instagram?
Yep, I believe it was, honestly, I saw your reels pop up, and then I saw that Chris Dugan follows you, and I was like, yep, there we go. And then I saw you were produced by ZK, and like I said, we've had the Paradox on.
Yeah.
We gave them their longest interview to date. They gave us an hour and a half, which is
Oh,
really nice. Yeah. But honestly, I like the concise 30-minute ones more because I could go back and watch them. So this has been one of my favorite ones. I've totally been geeking out.
No, we really appreciate you taking the time and wanting to speak to us.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to do this. Like, this is a huge honor, and I hope to do it again soon. Can't wait for the album.
Thank you, brother. Much love, and hope to see you in Florida.
Yeah, just wait 1 second as I close it out.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching the Dreaming Insomniacs, the podcast. Shout out to Crystal. You just caught the end of it. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much, man.
Seriously, thank you.